mean you're born ready? What kind of a statement, bold statement is that?
Born ready, man. Always ready.
You've just become a professional snooker player for the first time in your life. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's been a goal of mine since I first started playing, and to finally get over the line to achieve it is surreal, really.
Very young age too.
Yeah, I think it's good though, because if I was to fall off in 2 years' time, we still have the European U21s again. So yeah, it's good to just get all the experience you can at a young age, I think.
I mean, kind of looking at the Q tour over the season, Liam. I mean, you're kind of up and down a wee bit. I mean, the first one there, you beat Craig, didn't you? 5-2.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them, you kind of didn't exceed too well. What kind of happened at that point there? Did you lose a bit of confidence, or did you just sort of like lose your drift a bit there?
It's just hard, isn't it? Like best of fives and club tables against great players. It's not easy at the end of the day. You sort of got to have a little bit of luck along the way, and sometimes it just doesn't go for you, and you just have to get on with it. But yeah, it's just hard at the end of the day. It's the second tour down from the main tour, so it's loads of good players, short formats. It's just hard.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cutthroat. Best of fives. If you're a couple of frames down, it's like oof, pressure's on.
Yeah,
doesn't matter who you play. I mean, you kind of knew when you came in to the Q Tour that you knew there was a lot of really tough amateurs you were going to come up against, and it's not unlike the lower end of the professional tour where you have a lot of players that some of them are not really going to excel, some of them are going to drop off. They're going to come on and go off and come on and go off, as some of the professionals I've interviewed have said. But you've got through very, very well. I mean, you came through. You, as I say, you just waited and held on. Did you feel that the European Championship format was better for you?
Yeah, I think it's a good tournament, but obviously because they put the Q Tour on top of it, I think coming off that loss to Dwayne, it was quite tough to pick myself back up to get on. At the end of the European Under-21s is the best chance to get on the tour. So even after that loss against Dwayne, I still had to try and pick myself up because it was still my best opportunity to get on the tour. So it was a good tournament, good format. But like I said, with the Q Tour being the same time, it was just tough to take that loss and get up for the next game.
I mean, for the Q Tour playoff that you're involved in was quite a very competitive field, to say the least. I mean, you had some good results through there. You beat Peter Devlin, Roy McLeod, and then obviously you beat Dwayne. Sorry, Dwayne. beat you, should I say? But I mean, that was tough. But I think were they best of sevens, those, Liam? Those last ones, I think they were, weren't they? The semis and the quarters and semis. Yeah.
Best of 9. Then it was best of 11.
Best of 9.
Best of 19.
So did you feel a wee bit more comfortable with that, with the the longer?
Yeah, that just gives you a chance to get into it, doesn't it? If you lose the first 2 frames, it's not really the end of the world. It just gives you a chance to get into it, and your opponent has to play well for a prolonged period of time to beat you. So, yeah, the best player wins in the end of the game.
So I remember this 14-year-old who came all the way over from Wales to playing one of my pro-ams in Holland and Hampshire. And you came in, you were actually quite tall even then, and you were very quiet as a mouse. And I was sitting there with a couple of colleagues of mine. Some of them you know, some of them you don't. And we were watching you, and we were quite impressed in those early days, Dave, because you were giving yourself a lot of time. And you don't often see that with a young player, especially 14-year-old, and you could see you were waiting for the right opportunities. You weren't extravagant. You didn't take a lot of big balls on. You waited for your chances, and that impressed a lot of us. We could see. I could tell earlier on there was a lot of ability, and you could mature very, very early. And of course, you came to some of the others as well. But I think you recognised they were quite tough events, didn't you? And they were a good practice, even though I don't know, there probably wasn't an awful lot going on locally at that time, was there?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously with the pro tour as well now, I'm not going to be here, there, and everywhere. I just got the pro event, so I think I need to start trying to get up to some of your events and some of the different pro-ams or whatever, just to try and keep your eye in. Because sometimes on the main tour, I think you may have like a couple of weeks off, whereas like now I'm in some of the world tournaments and all the amateur stuff, so I was away all the time. So I sort of stopped going to the pro-ams, but I think now that I'm on the tour, I'm moving to get back and playing some more.
As I say, that your performance was good. I mean, overall, your performance on the European Championship, how would you evaluate that, Liam? Would you say you played your best snooker, or would you say it was that a lot of players struggled at the event? What would you say?
Yeah, truthfully, I really struggled. Maybe the last day I played some decent stuff, like when it counted, but like other than that, I was just sort of sticking in there, creating a few chances of frame for myself. Nothing stupid, just going there. My aim was to just win. I'd win at any cost. Just keep playing safe. My safety games, I think, is very good for someone as young as me. I think I've got quite a lot of experience playing the top players in practice and in the games. So I think my game's quite mature for a 17-year-old, and I sort of fell back out there. I knew my scoring was struggling. I struggled a little bit with the tables, so I just stuck in there, and my safety got me through basically.
Yeah, I can see you getting a little bit angry with yourself because, well, I've seen you score heavy in some of your matches, and you missed the odd one, which is crucial because you knew you were getting close. And there's times when you feel like you're just throwing it away.
Definitely. When I was playing Dwayne, I'll be the first to admit I never really crumbled, but in that game I got a 9 from 6-3 down. I was 9-7 in front, and the pressure just got too much for me. I've never really experienced pressure like that because it's something I've always dreamed of, turning into a professional snooker player, and I had the chance right there in front of me, and I wasn't really expecting it because I come from behind, and then all of a sudden it just come, and I wasn't ready for it. But then in my next time, when I went 4-3 up, I was just waiting for it, and I was prepared then. I'd done a really good clearance then. So I was impressed that I come back from bottling it, if you like, against Dwayne. The next time then, I was prepared, and I'd done a really, really good clearance.
Let's talk about what's brought you to where you are now. Okay. Obviously, you're Wales based, and I'm fairly sure I know who you've been playing with, but talk to me about the other players you've been practicing with in Wales and who's coaching you at the moment.
Yeah, I pretty much play with anyone I can. I play a lot with Dwayne. I play a lot with Jamie Clarke, Jamie Jones, Ryan Day, Jackson, Mark. Sort of just get around and play everyone. And I think that's how, for a 17-year-old, I'm quite mature because I'm sort of learning and picking things up from all the good players we have in Wales. Like within half an hour of my club, we got all them players. So I'm sort of in a great position, really, so I can learn from all the best players in Wales.
Yeah, quite a few established professionals there. Indeed, I think not all the lads who have on the amateur tour have had the opportunity to play as many professionals as they would have liked. And do you think that's been an enormous help to you playing tough professionals?
Yeah, definitely. It just grounds it, and you can't get carried away when you're playing them because you may have one good day and beat them, and then the next day they just pump you 13-0. So you never really get carried away. It always keeps your feet on the ground because it makes you realise that you're not really all that good. Really, you're just another player, really, and you just gotta try your best. And yeah.
And what about who's currently coaching you at the moment? Are you allowed to say, or
Yeah, well, me and Lee have been working together since I was 6. One of the first
Lee Walker?
coaches in the league. So yeah, we've been working together since I was 6. So 11 years. It's been a long 11 years as well, working with Lee. But no, he's been great to me, and I hope we have a good future ahead.
Absolutely, Lee's a fantastic coach.
Definitely.
You know, it was always obviously going to be an extension for him from the end of any professional snooker career. I've chatted many times with Lee, as you know, at Stratford, because a lot of you Welsh lads came over and played at the pro-ams there, you know, at the Stratford upon Avon club. And most of you won the dough as well. You know, Jackson, Donny Wells,
Yeah.
Lee. God, you were taking the money every month, weren't you? You weren't leaving anything for the London and Essex lads, you
Welsh
know?
cleaning up.
Yeah. Okay, so congratulations for getting on the tour, kid. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the main tour.
Thank you.
Give us your thoughts then. Where do you see yourself at the end of season 2? And give us some sort of an outlook here. What's the anticipation? What are you feeling?
I'm just gonna try and just take it one game at a time. I can't really get too carried away with anything. It's just tough. Like I said, I know how tough it is. I played with like a lot of pros around here, and I know how tough it's going to be for the next 2 years. But I know what I'm capable of, and I back myself. But like I said, I know how tough it is as well. I just got to focus one game at a time and never get too carried away.
Okay. And from the time I saw you at the age of 14, playing in some of my pro-ams to where you are now, what improvements do you feel? Do you feel your game's a lot stronger? And in what way?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've improved all round, really. I think I score really heavy when I'm in full swing. And obviously my safety's good as well. I think I got a pretty decent all-round game. But like I said, that's only from having hundreds and hundreds of bashings off all the pros around here. You just I sort of just try and pick things up of one and then pick things up of a different person and just try and build myself into a player that's got a bit of everyone. And yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, I keep improving.
Well, it's like I said a little bit earlier there. You know how tough it is. It's a very, very competitive amateur field. There's a lot of lads. Some of them are a lot older than yourself. Actually, have been trying to get on the tour for a long time, and I'm sure some of the lads at the top there who got to the playoffs. We know who they are. We know how good they are. I'm sure their time will come, and I'm sure. I've always said to players, Liam, and in the past at my pro-ams that, think in terms of getting on the tour is not the biggest thing for me. It's being ready to earn a living, being good enough to earn a living on the tour, because you know yourself with the size of the tour, there's a lot of the lads are struggling.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I had a really good chance when I was 15 to get on the tour, and I lost to Anton Kazakov 4-2 in the World Under-18s. But like I said, if I'd won that game, I would have never ever have won any of these amateur tournaments. I've won all the junior events. I've won the World Junior titles, the European Junior titles, Q tours, and had the sort of amateur grounding that I've had. I don't think there's many juniors that have had the amateur grounding that I've had. I've won the amateur tournament I've won. So I think maybe losing that game was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because I've had such a good grounding, and I think maybe I am ready for the tour now.
Well, perhaps coming onto the tour is a great tester for you. You know how tough it is. You know you know how tough it's going to be when you get on the tour. You're going to come up against tougher opposition. You're going to get fewer opportunities as well. But at the same time, Liam, your game's going to mature and you'll get stronger, because you'll agree that when you play stronger players, it does strengthen your game, strengthens you mentally as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that in you, kid. So I'm going to ask you the tough question. This is a really tough question. Okay. Yeah. Where do you see yourself at the end of season 2?
I'd like to say in the top 64. I think that's a pretty achievable goal for me. Yeah, just trying to keep my tour card, and then hopefully after season 2, then try and push on. But yeah, I think as a goal for myself, I think the goal's just got to be to keep my tour card, and then hopefully then once I've gained the 2 years experience of learning how the tour works. Obviously, I've played in some of the tour events, but I've never actually been on the tour. So I think like sort of finding my feet the first year, and then hopefully keep my tour card then, and maybe push on after that then.
The last time we came on here, I was asking you about Mark, if you were nicking some frames off him. I've got a feeling you're nicking a few more now off him than you were back then, about a year ago when I interviewed you. Are you getting closer to him now?
Yeah, I think so. He's getting older as well, though, isn't he?
He's old.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be, go, give him a chance. Let him have a shot now and again, let him have a shot now and again. Anyway, Liam, well done, kid. I was very, very pleased to see you on the tour. Like a couple of other lads who I'll be interviewing very shortly. And I'll be looking forward to watching you. I find it very hard to watch snooker these days, Liam. I really do. I like spending time with juniors in the club who are really improving.
Yeah.
All the time. I get a little bit more enjoyment out of that there. But in terms of watching entertainment and quality snooker, it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to enjoy it with a big, big field. Do you think the professional tour is too large, or do you think it's just right?
I don't really know. I don't think it's for me to say that. I'm not really sure about politics. I just sort of know how to play snooker some days, maybe.
Good answer.
Know anything about politics and why they've got 128 players on the tour, but it's not something I really get involved with. I just sort of turn up, play my game, and go home. So yeah, I think Jason Ferguson and Barry Earn are doing a great job. I think snooker's in a good place. Money's getting higher. So I think it's only good for the game.
There's a lot of money in the game. There's a lot of competitions, plenty of ranking events. There's an incentive, 20K incentive, which was always coming. It's just nice to have it there in case you don't reach that, that threshold. Is there any sponsors you'd like to mention, Liam, who will be coming in with you on the tour?
Yeah,
so far, or
I've been really lucky with sponsors. The first guy that sponsored me, he started sponsoring me when I was 12, when I played in the shootout. Steve McHugh, RTS Refrigerated Trailers. He's been unbelievable to me. I'm so lucky to have the chance with him. It's been a massive help. I've just had 2 new sponsors, Rio Cars and OB Motors. They've also been a massive help to me as well. And Brian Clarke as well from Bay Sport Supplies. He does he sponsors me. It's just, you can't really do it without these people, because the amateur tour is so expensive with so little prize money being paid out. It's not really feasible to do it, especially for a young kid like 16, 17. Obviously, your parents got to go with you because you can't travel on your own. It's just really expensive. So without these people helping you out, you just can't do it.
Absolutely. I'm sure these lads are very proud of you, and they'll be looking forward to continuing that support. And just before I let you go, just remind me which part of Wales you are in and the name of the club you're practicing in, Liam, there, if you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, I'm from South Wales, Tredegar, but my club's in Merthyr. Me and my mum and dad actually opened my own club for me with my own table in. It's called the Scala in Merthyr Tydfil. It's an unbelievable club. It's my favourite place in the world. I just love coming in here. It's brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure about this. Do you have you don't have a world entry, do you? It's a little question. You get as far as, you can get as far as that. It'd be nice to get a qualifier entry, wouldn't it? Off of this.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay. Right, kid, that's it. We'll wrap it up. I was going to try and keep this down to about 15 or 20 minutes,
Thank you.
But well done. I'm really looking forward to watching you on the tour. We're going to bring you back, by the way.
Definitely.
We're going to bring you back at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
I want to see you in that top 64.
Fingers
Okay,
fingers crossed.
let's just see how it goes. Thanks very much for joining us, Liam.
No problem.